Hi and welcome. I am Sarah. This is my husband Anthony, and today we're going to be answering some of your burning questions about, how did they meet? How old are they? Why'd they get married? All of that stuff. Don't do that to your face. I can't put it in when you do that. You have something in your teeth.
Why can't you put it in? It's funny.
If you're new here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for future content and hit the like button because it's going to be a banging video. First question. How old are we?
Well, I am 26. I just turned 26, September 30th.
Oh, and I'm 23. I'm about to turn 24 in a few weeks.
Yeah, so we're both very old at heart. We're like freaking grandpa and grandmas.
Okay,
Go with the next one.
okay, second question. When and how did we meet?
You can answer this one.
Okay, so we met online on the dating sites as
Let me be clear though, before she gets into it, this is a rare thing for me. I hate dating sites. Like, I rarely use them, but for some reason I got lucky and she was on it. It's a very rare find. So I don't recommend them, but sometimes they may work.
I mean,
Continue.
a lot of treasures are out there on Bumble and Tinder and such sites, but we met on Bumble and it was kind of weird. I just gotten on Bumble and he was probably like the third person that I swiped on. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just bored. And then
Yeah.
like
And-
I was really not looking for anything.
And I think we were both not looking for anything at that point. We were both just looking to hang out and meet people, and it just turned into something great. But keep in mind, Bumble is the woman has to message first, which is why I use Bumble. But
That's why I didn't
Just-
use Bumble.
keeps everything simple, easy, and there's no bull crap around it. But yeah.
And we met at the beginning of November.
I don't know, babe.
Yeah,
It's
beginning
on
of
you.
November of 2020 is when we met. Okay, third question. How long did we know each other before we got married?
Don't look at me. That's a key
Okay,
question.
we knew each other for 8 months exactly before we got married. I think we met on October 27th or pretty sure it was something like that. Very late October or early November. And then we got married June 26th. So that's exactly.
Yeah. So it is very short for a lot of people that are watching. They're probably like, wow, that's a quick turnaround. But we fell in love and
It's a quick turnaround.
it is. It's a quick turnaround. And we fell in love, and I have very strong religious values that I've created over time. And I saw the meaning of it, and I thought that there was no other person that I would want to be with. So,
Once you go Persian, there's no other version.
oh, geez. Oh,
But it was a very I wouldn't have usually I never thought that I would get married so quick after knowing someone for 8 months, and I'd obviously been in relationships before that were longer than 8 months, but I'd never thought that there would be someone that I'd actually want to marry in a short amount of time. But Anthony was that man, and he's so lovely.
I bring a lot to the table.
He does bring a lot to the table. He's so great. Aw.
You're not too bad yourself, baby.
Oh, thanks, sweetie. Okay. Why did we move to Italy?
We moved to Italy for hockey. I was very lucky and blessed with an opportunity to play over in Europe. I've been playing all my life, and we hoped that it would turn out and that the situation in Italy would be very prosperous, but from a hockey standpoint, it didn't. And I was very upset about that. It didn't seem to work out with the coaching and a few other situations. There was a lot of politics behind it, but now we've ended up in France.
That's my next question. Why did we move to France? But yes, go ahead.
Because France was a secondary situation that turned out to be an even more fruitful one. So I've been very lucky with some amazing teammates, an amazing coach, and what seems to be a very good situation. We are right now in Colmar, and which is right next to Strasbourg. So this is tourist heavy area, and right during Christmas it's amazing. Everything's festive and full of lights. So for us it seems to be a great situation. If Sarah thinks so, I believe she does as well.
It's splendid.
So yeah, it's good. It seems to be very good, and I hope it continues down that road in the future.
Okay. Next question. This is Anthony's fancy question that we're going to answer. How do we handle our finances?
Okay, so you don't get a ton of money starting out in European hockey. Like I'm starting off from the bottom in, so I'm working my way up. Right. So you still have to work within your means. And I love investing. That's what I do. That's what this channel is primarily doing, is investing. And her channel is starting to create more and more lifestyle content and what she loves. But for me, investing is something that I care about. And I want to save all my money to invest in stocks. So we splurged a little bit when we were in Pergine and enjoyed some gifts that we got from some friends. But now that we're in now that we're in France, it's changed up. We've had to be very, very stingy with our money. We've gone out and done a few different things, and keep in mind, this is nothing like we're not poor. We're not struggling by any stretch of the imagination. We're very blessed, and we're trying to save all the money that we can. So we are deciding to eat properly, but eat within our means. So if you are out there and you're thinking that you should be going and spending a ton of money on food and maybe going out and having a car, like we walk everywhere, we take advantage of situations that may have led us to spending a bunch of more money and preferring to spend less money. So we've been very lucky, and we're also very, I don't want to say financially educated because we still have so much to learn, but we're doing the right things, I think, as of right now. Lately, no. Before that, no. Right now, yes. Now, I know hockey was my reason for leaving and enjoying this amazing opportunity, but what was your reason, Sarah? Why did you feel like you wanted to come to Italy with me and come to France and whatnot?
Well, I thought it would be a really fun adventure. I don't know. I actually don't know why did I move here.
Well, that's what marriage is, guys. I'm very lucky that she came with me.
Yeah, I came to keep him company. But I'm not really. I mean, we are married, and I am able to work here if I wanted to, and I do want to. I mean, that's a lie. I mean, I do enjoy not working to an extent. Like, I really miss the social aspect of it and, like, going out and doing things. But I mean, me, it's definitely, like, up to me. I haven't really buckled down on figuring out the paperwork of becoming a resident here in Europe and, like, actually being able to get a job. But for now, I'm just, keeping Anthony company, feeding him. Just being a housewife, really.
Can I be honest? I've been pretty hard on her over the last little while. Well, not hard on her, but I've always thrown in little things that she should be going and doing work and doing this stuff. And she's been an amazing help in my life. Like, there's a million things that I've been lucky and graced to do while I've been playing hockey. Like, I'm doing a few classes in school. I'm creating this content, doing investing. And these are all things that I think I'm going to start building. But for her, it's more of finding what she's passionate about. And I know how hard that is to go into a job that you're not passionate about. But I think that as we continue to live here for a little bit longer, I think she'll find something that she loves. And hopefully that turns into a great opportunity.
Yep. Okay, what's the best thing about living in Europe?
The best thing about living in Europe. The best thing about living in Europe is that it's not like the West. It's a very different lifestyle choice, very different ideas and values from what I've noticed. People are not focused on the same things that people in the West are. Like, I love business, but I feel like everybody's very stressed out and very to themselves in the West, whereas here I feel like it's more family oriented, a lot more community driven. But even when we were in Pergine, in northern Italy, it wasn't the same as a southern Italy vibe. Like it was more individualistic, like especially near Milan and whatnot. And that kind of vibe just doesn't attract me anymore. I'm not sure about you, but it's just not something that really intrigues me the same way it used to. What about you?
I don't know. I don't really see the difference as much as Anthony does. Like, I just see less opportunity here. So I think that people are more accepting of their situations, I feel. And it's not like, I feel like in the West, people are very like worried about their image and like the way that people perceive them and the work that they do and stuff like that. But here, that's not really as much of a worry. People are very accepting of their positions. I think like no matter what it is, everyone makes a living wage from what I understand. Like tipping isn't really a thing here. So like in that sense, I think it's really good. But like I don't see, like I'm sure they're just as stressed. We don't really know many locals to really be able to say that, in my opinion.
So if you had to raise a family based on vibes, would it be preferred in the West or preferred over here in Europe?
Personally, I would say the West because I'm from the West, you know, it's more comfortable. Like I know how everything works, you know, like
I agree, but when it comes to like the kids' benefit, not so much our benefit, like
when kids' benefit is still the West.
Really?
Because I can't be a good parent if I'm not happy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you knew the language, right, and you understood the culture, which would be better?
I don't know. I don't know.
See, I don't,
because I don't understand the culture. So how am I supposed to know which one's better?
True.
So like that's a weird question.
So from me personally, from what I'm seeing, I don't like Vancouver vibes at all. Like I did not like living there. I enjoyed a lot of people that were there. I have a lot of amazing friends there. It's just it doesn't feel like I would like the school system isn't something that I would want my kids involved in. The values are not what my kids should be involved in. It just everything is so intertwined around social media, politics, like because everybody needs a distraction nowadays because they feel like their life isn't bearing enough fruit, in my opinion. So when I look in Europe, like I don't think that as many people need a distraction here. I think that they care about their family situations. I think that they seem much more happy here. Like even my teammates, when they come and see me, like they make such an effort to get to know me. And it's like, it's a very different, and don't get me wrong, there was a lot of teammates I had that were amazing over the years, but it's just, it seems like a very different, there's no better word than vibe than it is in the West. I really enjoy it. And I would hope to go back and see a lot of that in other places, but it just might not be Vancouver for me. But we'll have to see, right? If you love it, then we might be going back. So.
Okay, what's the hardest thing about living in Europe? Hardest thing about living in Europe.
Why don't you start us off with this one?
I'm going to say the hardest thing about living in Europe is the language barrier. And especially as extroverts, I think that it's very challenging trying to like build relationships with people or friendships when you can't talk to them. And it feels like a burden, you know what I mean? So it's like you're trying to get your point across and you're trying to make, you know, conversation or just like anything, but it's just so hard that you're just, I don't know, I hate it. I hate the language barrier. And like now that we're in France, obviously in high school in Canada, you learn some French in school. So like I do know a little bit of French and I understand basic things, but even then like I feel so out of the loop. And it's I think there's a big difference between traveling somewhere and living somewhere. And I'm really feeling it. Because, like, as a tourist, you know, you don't really think about it. But, like, living with it it's very different. So that's the hardest thing, definitely, about living in Europe.
Mm-hmm. For me, like that's definitely a factor, but it's not as big of a factor for me because a lot of my teammates do speak English. So I do get to have a lot of conversations with them, which makes it a lot easier to socialize. But for her, I know how hard that is because most of the people that we meet on a day-to-day basis speak only French. But for me in Europe, I would have to say the hardest thing has been the shutdowns that happen at so many different stores that make no sense. Like in the afternoons, they'll just randomly be shut. On like a Monday and Sunday, they're randomly shut. It's like, this is like prime business. They don't start dinner at most of these places until like 7 p.m.
Yeah, they open for dinner at 7.
It's like, what? Like my practice starts at 8:30, so I'm trying to go get some dinner and I'm like, okay, well, clearly this isn't going to be open, so I have to eat at home, and it requires us to make it and have to go to the store, and it's a whole burden. So
oh, you poor thing. You cook so much.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, it's for me, that's the biggest problem. Yeah, I love Europe other than that. What's the next one?
Okay, last question. Where do you see yourself in 6 months?
You can start.
Okay, in 6 months, I see myself in Vancouver at my favorite sushi restaurant, having some spicy sashimi and some of my favorite rolls with extra ginger. And then, I don't know, just like, I think that right now we don't really have a set home. That's the closest thing to home is Vancouver at the moment. So I think that I'm excited to go back and visit for a bit in 6 months.
Okay. For me, we do plan on being back in Vancouver for the summer. I would like to be doing some stuff involving real estate and continuing to develop my education around investing, summer workouts, stuff like that. Not to undercut anything that you said, but for me, my home is with you now. So if we're living anywhere like that, our situation is dictated by us, and the home that we live in doesn't really matter. So I could live just about anywhere in the world and I would be happy with it. And I think there's a lot of opportunity just about everywhere that I have lived, because most of the stuff that I do is online, and most of the people that I've met are pretty amazing everywhere that I've been. So, yeah.
Wow, it's Anthony for you. Hopeless romantic.
So, yeah, that concludes our little Q&A session. We appreciate you guys tuning in. I know that you may have not been interested at all and you sat down and watched the whole video, and we appreciate you, and we hope you were entertained just a little bit. Don't forget again to hit the like button for us and hit that subscribe button to follow along on both our channels. For me, it's The Conti Show, and for her, it's Sarah Conti Russell. So thank you guys.
It's not it.
Oh shit, is it not it anymore?
It's Sarah Russell Conti.
Oh, okay, Sarah Russell Conti. Whatever. You know what it means.
You don't even know my name.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't matter. Anyway.
Yes. I'm going to hear that later on. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you enjoy.
No, I hate the way I live, but I ride with stress.